off my property." "We're done here, Harkins," Charles Blackwell shouted from the polished leather seat of his F-350 Super Duty. The diesel engine rumbled impatiently as he tossed a thin manila folder onto the dusty ground. "There's your deed. That worthless patch of dirt and its dried-up well are your problem now." Mike Harkins didn't flinch as the folder landed at his worn boot tips. The West Texas sun beat down on his weathered neck as he bent to retrieve the papers, his calloused fingers brushing away the fine red dust. "You'll regret this purchase worse than your first marriage," Blackwell sneered through the open window. "That well's been dry as a bone for 3 years. But a deal's a deal, even a bad one. Stick around to see how a rich man's trash became a poor man's treasure. And if you believe that justice always wins in the end, please subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss a story." Mike watched Blackwell's truck disappear down the dirt road, leaving nothing but a cloud of dust and the taste of humiliation in his mouth. He turned slowly, taking in his new purchase. 5 acres of the most unforgiving terrain in Coleman County, centered around a dilapidated well structure that looked like it might collapse in the next strong breeze. His neighbors had called him a fool. The bank had barely approved the loan, but Mike had nowhere else to turn. When Blackwell had dammed up Harper Creek last month, cutting off water to Mike's small cattle operation, desperation set in fast. The old rancher had smiled that shark-toothed grin of his when Mike came begging for water rights. "I'll do you one better," Blackwell had said. "I'll sell you that useless corner property with its own well. Won't cost you much. It's not worth much." Mike walked over to the well now, peering down into its dark throat. The wooden structure creaked ominously as he leaned against it. His hand ran along the weathered edge, feeling the splinters catch against his skin. "What did I just do?" he whispered to himself. The drive back to his small ranch house felt longer than usual. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the land, highlighting every crack in the parched earth. 3 months without significant rainfall had turned his modest 50 acres into a struggle for survival. His small herd, just 38 head of cattle, would need water soon, or he'd lose everything. His truck bounced over the cattle guard, and he saw his 10-year-old son Tommy waiting on the porch steps, excited as always to see his dad come home. His wife Ella stood in the doorway, her face a careful mask hiding the worry he knew she felt. "Did you get it, Dad? Did Mr. Blackwell sell you the well?" Tommy asked, running alongside the truck as Mike parked. Mike forced a smile. "Sure did, buddy. It's ours now. Is it full of water? Can we use it right away?" Mike's smile faltered. "Well, it needs some work first. Might take a little time." Ella's eyes met his as he climbed the porch steps. She knew. She always knew when things weren't right. "Tommy, go wash up for dinner," she said, her voice gentle but firm. When the boy had gone inside, she turned to Mike. "How bad is it?" Mike sank onto the porch swing, the chains creaking under his weight. "It's bone dry, Ella. Blackwell played me for a fool." "Then why did you buy it? What choice did I have? Our cattle need water. The creek's dammed up. This drought's killing everyone, and Blackwell knows it." Mike ran a hand through his hair. "I've got to try to make it work. Before we continue, I have a tough question. Do you think some people enjoy watching others struggle? Type yes or no in the comments below." The next morning came too early. Mike was up before dawn, loading his truck with shovels, picks, and the small generator he used for ranch emergencies. Tommy appeared in the kitchen doorway as he was gulping down his coffee. "Can I come help, Dad?" Mike hesitated. "It's gonna be hard work, son." Tommy straightened up, trying to look taller than his 10 years. I'm strong. I can help." Mike studied his son's determined face, so much like his own, and nodded. "All right. Grab your work gloves and a water bottle. It's going to be a hot one today." The drive to the well was quiet. As the sun crested the horizon, it painted the scrubland in hues of gold and red, almost making it look valuable. Almost. "Dad, why does Mr. Blackwell hate us?" Tommy asked suddenly. Mike gripped the steering wheel tighter. "He doesn't hate us, exactly. Men like Blackwell see the world differently. Everything's about money and power to them. Our little ranch is standing in the way of him owning the whole valley. That's not fair. No, it's not. But fairness doesn't factor into Blackwell's thinking." The well looked even worse in the morning light. The wooden structure was gray with age, rotting in places. Mike set Tommy to clearing away debris while he examined the mechanics. The old pulley system was intact, though rusty. He lowered a bucket down, listening for the splash that never came. "It's dry, all right," he muttered. "So what do we do?" Tommy asked, wiping sweat from his forehead, though it wasn't even 9 a.m. yet. "We dig deeper." For 3 days, they worked from sunrise to sunset. Mike broke through the hard-packed earth at the bottom of the well, hauling bucket after bucket of dirt and rock to the surface. Tommy helped empty the buckets, his small arms straining with the effort, but never complaining. On the third night, Mike's muscles screamed as he drove home. His hands were raw despite his gloves, and discouragement was setting in. The well remained dry as dust. While Mike sits in his truck, gathering strength before facing his family, I'd love to know who is keeping watch with us. Drop your name and what city or state you are watching from in the comments. I love seeing our family grow across the USA and the world. And "You're wasting your time and money, Harkins," said Frank Miller, owner of the hardware store in town, as Mike purchased more supplies the next morning. "That well's been dry for years. Blackwell's people tried everything." "I have to try," Mike replied simply. Blackwell's laughing all the way to the bank. Word is he's planning to buy out the Henderson place next week. Soon he'll own everything from here to the county line. Mike said nothing, paid for his supplies, and left. That afternoon, as the temperature climbed past 100 degrees, disaster struck. The old well structure finally gave way, collapsing inward with a sickening crack. Mike barely managed to scramble out before the wooden beams crashed down. "Dad!" Tommy screamed from where he'd been stationed a safe distance away. "I'm okay," Mike called back, though he was coated in dust and bleeding from a cut on his arm. "Stay back, buddy." They stared at the ruined well in silence. All that work, all that hope, gone in an instant. "What now, Dad?" Mike looked at the devastation, then at his son's worried face. He couldn't quit. Not in front of Tommy. "Now we build it back stronger," he said with a determination he didn't feel. It took another week to clear the debris and rebuild the well structure. Mike spent money he didn't have on concrete and reinforced beams. Ella said nothing when he took their small emergency fund to purchase a used water pump. But her tight-lipped smile spoke volumes. Rumors spread through the county. Folks stopped by, some offering help, others just curious to see the fool who thought he could make water appear from dust. "You could sell your cattle now while they're still healthy enough to fetch a decent price," suggested his neighbor, Dale Thompson. "Blackwell would probably buy your land too, give you enough to start fresh somewhere else." "This land's been in Ella's family for 3 generations," Mike replied. "I'm not giving up." If you are rooting for Mike to prove everyone wrong, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's show the world that kindness is stronger than greed. After 2 weeks of digging, reinforcing, and praying, Mike hit something hard. Bedrock, he assumed, Disappointment crashed through him like a physical blow. He slumped against the well wall 30 feet below the surface and closed his eyes in defeat. That's when he noticed it. A smell. Not earth or dust, but something. Chemical. Strange. He chipped at the hard surface beneath him, breaking through to a small pocket. A dark liquid seeped through, just a trickle at first. It wasn't water. It was thicker, with a rainbow sheen in the beam of his flashlight. His heart began to race as he scooped some onto his fingers, rubbing them together. The substance was slick, with that unmistakable petroleum odor. "Tommy!" he shouted up. "Tommy, get the jar from the truck." When the sample was secured, Mike climbed out of the well, his exhaustion forgotten. He showed the jar to Tommy, whose eyes widened. "Is that?" "I think so, son. But let's not get ahead of ourselves." That evening, Mike drove to San Angelo to visit an old friend who worked for an oil company. The test was quick, the result undeniable. "It's crude oil, all right," confirmed his friend Jim. "High quality, too, from what I can tell." "How much have you found?" "Just a small pocket so far." "Well, you need to get a proper survey done before you start celebrating. But if there's more down there..." Jim whistled. "You might be sitting on a fortune, Mike." Mike drove home in a daze, possibilities spinning through his mind. When he pulled up to the house, Ella was waiting on the porch, her face tense with worry. "Where have you been? It's nearly midnight." He held up the jar, now labeled and officially tested. "Ella, there's oil under that worthless patch of dirt Blackwell sold me." Her eyes widened as he explained what he'd found. "Are you sure?" "Jim thinks so. We need a professional survey to know for sure how much is down there, but..." "How did Blackwell not know?" she whispered. Mike shook his head. "The oil's deep, deeper than his people ever dug. They gave up too soon." The next morning, Mike was at the well site early, securing the area and planning his next steps. He didn't notice the cloud of dust approaching until Blackwell's truck skidded to a halt nearby. "Morning, Harkins," Blackwell called, climbing out with a false smile. "Heard you've been working yourself half to death out here." Mike straightened up, keeping his face neutral. "What can I do for you, Blackwell?" "Well, I've been thinking." The rancher sauntered closer, his expensive boots somehow staying clean despite the dust. "I might have been hasty selling this parcel. My water engineers tell me there might be an aquifer worth tapping after all. I'd like to buy it back." "Not for sale." Blackwell's smile tightened. "I'll give you double what you paid." "No thanks." "Triple then." "Be reasonable, Harkins. What can you possibly hope to find here?" Mike looked at the rebuilt well, then back at the man who'd tried to ruin him. "I've already found what I was looking for. The knowledge that hard work pays off in the end." Blackwell's face darkened. "Don't be a fool. You need the money, and we both know it. What I need is for you to get off my property." For a tense moment, the two men stared at each other. Then Blackwell turned on his heel and stormed back to his truck. "You'll regret this, Harkins." As the truck roared away, Tommy emerged from where he'd been listening behind the new well structure. "He doesn't know about the oil, does he?" the boy asked. "Not yet, but he will soon enough." The professional survey confirmed what Mike had hoped. A substantial oil deposit ran beneath his 5 acres and likely extended under much of the surrounding land. Within a week, representatives from 3 oil companies had made offers for drilling rights. By the end of the month, the first check arrived, a signing bonus that was more money than Mike had earned in the last 5 years combined. When the drilling equipment arrived, Blackwell showed up again, this time with his lawyer. The confrontation was brief and futile. The deed was clear, the mineral rights unambiguous. The worthless patch of dirt with its dry well now promised to produce barrels of crude oil worth millions. 5 years later, the Harkins family still lived on their original 50 acres. Though the house was new and considerably larger, their cattle operation had expanded, using water from the new well Mike had drilled on their property. A well that tapped into the aquifer Blackwell's people had been too impatient to find. As for Blackwell, the drought had eventually forced him to sell off large portions of his land at reduced prices. The dam he'd built on Harper Creek had been declared illegal by state authorities and removed. His empire had crumbled, not all at once, but steadily, like sand through an hourglass. Mike often visited the site of the original well, which was now preserved as a reminder. He brought Tommy there on the anniversary of their discovery. "You know what the real lesson was?" Mike asked his son, now 15 and almost as tall as his father. "That we should never give up?" Tommy suggested. "That's part of it. But the bigger lesson is that true worth isn't found in a bank account. It's found in the heart." Blackwell had all the money and power, but he was willing to let others suffer to get more. In the end, that's what ruined him. Tommy nodded thoughtfully. "Do you think he ever realized that?" Mike looked out over the land, where oil derricks now stood like silent sentinels against the Texas sky. "I don't know, son. Some lessons come too late." If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs hope today. See you in the next video.